Good morning. My name is Blake Reid. I'm a clinical professor and the director of Colorado Law's Samuelson Glushko Technology Law and Policy Clinic. Through our work with Telecommunications for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, Inc., TDI, supporting HERD's efforts to tear down barriers to communications accessibility for incarcerated people with disabilities, I've had the incredible privilege to witness and learn from TL's uncompromising, thoughtful, and humane advocacy firsthand. On behalf of communities of people long left out of policy conversations, TL has led colleagues at HERD in diligently collecting the receipts of injustice, pressing for reform, and succeeding against the tallest of odds. TL is a living embodiment of effective public interest lawyering and sets a towering example for every advocate who has the good fortune to share common cause with HERD. TL, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to travel with you on but a small part of your important journey. Just as you have brought justice to the communities that HERD serves, you've made me and my student attorneys better lawyers and advocates, and you've shown us the possibilities of a better world. Though I regret I can't be with you in person today, I send every part of my spirit your way with gratitude, admiration, and respect for your achievements. The warmest of congratulations for the well-deserved award that you'll receive today, and the very best of wishes for the next steps in your adventure.
Thanks, Blake. So as you can hear, TL has spent incredible time, energy, and passion making sure that incarcerated people who are deaf or hard of hearing can have access to their loved ones or anyone who are outside. TL is also a deep thinker about structural racism, disability justice, and the intersection between them. I've learned a lot by reading TL's definition of ableism, which in part TL describes as a system of assigning value to people's bodies and minds based on a societally constructed idea of normalcy, productivity, desirability, intelligence, excellence, and fitness. There is a lot just in that part of TL's definition of that term. The entirety of civil rights, when it comes down to it, is a fundamental belief that all people have value and all people deserve the fullest respect, honor, and participation in our society, let alone the right to have their basic needs met. So TL not only founded HERD and largely worked as its chief and unpaid staffer since 2011, but has also had profound influence on how many activists think about the intersection of disability and other justice issues. HERD has advocated with and for thousands of deaf-disabled defendants, incarcerated, and returned people and their loved ones. They are a lifeline for people when no one else often can be there. Next week, the FCC is going to vote on an action that TL first started asking for 10 years ago. So now is a fantastic time to honor TL's work and to present to TL Lewis the UCC's Donald H. McGannon Award.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for being present, and for your support. Thanks for the folks who are joining remotely, who can't be here presently, physically with us. I'm not going to talk too long. I think James Baldwin said, my work will either speak for itself or it won't. So I'm very brief about my work, but I do want to just say that I'm really grateful to be here. Both literally, physically here, but also here in like the broader sense. And this moment is really full circle for many reasons. We're actually, for people who don't know, MLK Library is literally right next door. So I can almost, if you look out, you can see it, but I can almost touch it from here. And many of you don't know that that is the place where HERD's first public meeting was held, and many subsequent meetings were held in the DC Public Library System. And in fact, the DC Public Library System is the only office HERD has ever had. And so I say that because part of abolitionist work is making sure that people have spaces where we can build one another, care for one another, and sharpen one another. It's about investing in positive projects, making sure that we have those kinds of spaces, and divesting from harmful structures, from imperialist capitalist structures and systems, from incarceration, from policing systems that continue to harm all of our communities, and investing in things like young folks doing good work, working towards causes of justice, towards infrastructure that our communities need. So I just want to name and uplift that. That is a plug for supporting public library systems, librarians, and the likes. And then as related to this award, I'm really not receiving it on behalf of just myself. I'm receiving it on behalf of so many people. The gains that have been had, that we have forced, have been had, but they've arisen only out of heartbreaking loss and immense sacrifice. So I want to uplift the names of a couple of local folks who HERD has served, who are no longer present, some folks from the DMV. So DMV means DC, Maryland, Virginia, if you don't know. So I want to start with John H.L. Wilson Jr., whose family is here, Freya. Yeah, y'all can wave, be proud, we got the ILY up. With us today, that's Freya, Kyrie, Andrew, and Frey. And those are his children and grandchildren, some of them. The others are not present here physically, but they're here in spirit as well. John Wilson was wrongfully convicted and spent 25 years incarcerated. I worked for about 12, 13 years to free him from the cages that he should have never been in the first place. He passed away 6 months later because of deprivation of access to telecommunications, which again, we are calling on the FCC to no cost, I mean no cost, for calls from disabled people to their loved ones, and full access for everyone. That should be a baseline thing. We shouldn't be arguing about this 20 years later. Martha Wright was a blind, disabled grandmother, and Yolandis Wright, her son, was incarcerated, and again, spent years, decades, fighting between her medicine and access to her child who was incarcerated. And 20 years later, we're still having these same conversations with the FCC, so we are hopeful that the order that comes out in a week will reflect our community's sentiments and be very clear that this is no longer acceptable or tolerable in this society. So that's my pitch on that. Sorry, I know that this was supposed to be short. I want to uplift Alfonso Taylor. John Wilson's sign name is a JW. We do it short. We do it short here, but it's really J and then comes down to W, but we do it like that. So y'all can sign his name if you want, if you're at home or what have you. The next person is Alfonso Taylor, sign name AP at the Temple. And the next person is Chris Jarbo, and I haven't seen him in so long I don't remember his sign name. And all of these folks have helped move the work that have been discussed, despite the fact that they are not present physically. They are part of our work. I want to uplift and honor HERD's current team. That's Kai, K-A-J, Rox, R-O-X, Esperanza, E-S-P-E-R-A-N-Z-A, and Trinity. Sign name Kai, Rox is spelled Rox, and Esperanza is an E on the chin, and Trinity is like this. Cool. That's the future of cross-disability and cross-movement work, liberation work that really centers all marginalized people. I'm really want to also uplift that there's been hundreds of volunteers with HERD, so we have really pushed back against capitalist instincts to make money off of fixing the suffering of people. What I call this is freedom struggle. This is heart work, and so the vast majority of the labor that's been done through HERD, through this organization that I co-founded, has been all volunteer, and that's really important. And we need to be investing in this kind of work in ways that aren't presently being done. And then last but not least, deep gratitude to my very tiny circle of friends and chosen family, especially Dustin Gibson, who've cared for, supported, and loved me through even the most difficult times, and are supporting me as I transition to rest and redefining my role in life. I wrote around the paper. In life, work, and just community. And I look forward to spending more time with y'all. This work continues, and we really need everyone. All power to the people.